Today's video doesn't have any real theme other than the title, People Being Awful. These are folks who've recorded themselves and posted the footage on the internet with an almost jarring lack of self-awareness. Unless their intent is to go, look how ghastly I am. Now, with it being Pride Month, we'll begin with a lesbian. However, this woman isn't being awful, although I do take issue with a few things that she has to say. Basically, I'm using this clip to set up for the next one.
It's compulsory heterosexuality. It can be experienced by anyone who's any sexuality that isn't heterosexual, so not straight. But it is extremely common in lesbians. The society is so centered around men and loving men and being in straight relationships. Sometimes this causes queer people to doubt themselves. For me, it's kind of like, I feel like I'm imagining that I could be a lesbian, like that, oh, I should be dating men because I grew up thinking that that was the way I had to be, so being a lesbian just isn't right. Obviously, that's not true. I am gay. I don't like men. I'm not sexually attracted to them. When that competitive...
To me, that just sounds like someone questioning their sexuality, which I think is a very normal and a very healthy thing to do. But what decade is she living in? Where there's the idea that men are placed on a pedestal to be served and that straight relationships are being forced upon everyone. I live in the UK, where the vast majority of the population are straight and the same colour as me. But I can't think of the last time I saw an advert featuring a straight white couple. Or at least a straight white couple who weren't of an age where they're advertising retirement homes, funerals, and those pads you put down your underwear so you can piss yourself. Also, I can't think of a TV show that's been released this year, a new series that features a male lead. They're all female-led. Now, last night I started watching the new Star Wars series, The Acolyte. Spoiler alert. In the first few moments, we learn that the lead character had two mothers. Now, of course, there's nothing wrong with being raised by two women, but a man must have been involved at some point, even if he was just spunking in a jar. That doesn't sound very Star Wars, but of course it's a Disney show, so it's clearly a box-ticking exercise, making sure every diversity has been catered for before someone thought about writing a script, and it will lose masses of money. Anyway, there's a very homophobic, outdated phrase that lesbians just haven't met the right man yet. We're about to meet the right man.
You are not supposed to get her wet. Women aren't supposed to be wet. Hi, this is Bradley Bliss, top dating coach in America. Now, why do women get wet? It's because it creates a level of moisture to have intercourse with her. But if we obsess on making her too wet, then we start slipping in and out and it doesn't become a very good experience. So I want you to look at this just like if you're smoking a meat. If you smoke a meat for too long, it starts to become a sloppy stew. You do not want to have intercourse in the form of a sloppy stew. So what I advise my clients is to keep foreplay no more than 5 minutes. If it's more than 5 minutes, then you're in trouble. You're in the danger zone, my brother. Keep it 5 minutes or less so you have the proper amount of lube to have proper intercourse.
I don't believe that he's a top dating coach. In fact, I would be surprised if that man has ever had sex without having to pay for it. Firstly, because he's a day walker, by which I mean he's a soulless ginger bastard. No offence to any redheads watching, but a mate of mine's ginger, and I know what will piss him off when he sees this video. Next up, his personality is more abrasive than wire wool. And to me it sounds like that's a man who just doesn't know how to turn a woman on. Or rather, doesn't want to turn a woman on too much because he's got a tiny dick. And the comparison between a lady's undercarriage in a state of arousal and a stew. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I've never taken something out of the oven and thought, I need to stick my old chap in that. Now, I don't want to be overly crude, but to any straight ladies watching, does that gentleman get your juices flowing or leave you drier than the Sahara Desert in the middle of August? Either way, I bet he's 5 minutes of foreplay, then 2 thrusts, and he's done. If you've been following me on YouTube for a while now, or actually if you just watched the video I posted yesterday, I have an intense dislike for neo-pronouns.
Your tea party where we try on different pronouns, honorifics, and other such things to see how it feels. Today I'm introducing my new friend, Loki. This time, my herbalist witchy roommate and I stalked their page and picked out a tea blend that we think Z might like. Z is drinking a lemon balm hibiscus tea. If you want to grab Zim a refill, the red mug is theirs. I love Zim so much, and I'm so grateful Z came to my tea party.
First up, keep your Ponzi-flavoured tea to yourself. I am English, and in England, the only options we have with tea are milk and sugar. And because I'm a true Englishman, albeit a true Englishman with a ridiculous Scandinavian surname, I take mine white with 2. In fact, if someone tells me they drink tea without milk in it, I will wonder aloud, what are you, part Japanese or something? Actually, a few years ago, I watched a documentary about a Japanese family who came to London for the first time, and they tried having English tea. They were very excited to be drinking tea with milk in it, but behind their eyes, you could see them thinking, this is shit. As for the woman's friend, I'm assuming Loki has been made up, because I'm guessing that person doesn't have terrible parents, because they're at an age where they want to drink tea. So I'm assuming that this person will have picked that name for themselves, which means already I can't stand the twat. And using Zimzir pronouns doesn't make someone look interesting or special. It reveals them for what they are, a moron starved of attention. Whenever we do the neo-pronouns thing, we're in the same ballpark as misgendering.
My parents are coming to my apartment today, so I made a thing. You know, it's just a jar with a sticky note on it, but, well, because I kept making jokes at Christmas, whenever my mom would use the wrong name or pronouns, I would tell her to go put a quarter in the misgender jar. And I refused to get misgendered in my own fucking home without getting paid for it. So I'll stitch this, later once they leave. If I get any money, I won't be fucking happy about it if I do get money, but I'll let y'all know.
To an extent, I agree with her. Her house, her rules. But I feel for the parents, because they were there when she was born. At least the mother was. And I'm sure she remembers it. I've heard women say that childbirth tends to smart a bit. 20 years later, though, their daughter isn't a she anymore. Maybe it's a he, a they, a Zim, we don't know. They must be wondering, what the hell did we do wrong? But my sympathy also ends there, because they must have got something wrong. Otherwise their offspring wouldn't be one of the people with the brightly coloured hair, the manic stare, and that barely controlled rage they all seem to have. Those parents have fucked up, because they've raised a child who has an aversion to reality. The final clip deals with white privilege. And I confess I'm still waiting for mine to turn up. It must have got lost in the post. But better than talking about white privilege, why not write a song about it?
We feel privileged, but we know it's a gift to help those in need. God help us do good deeds.
I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. But if she's ever paid for singing or dancing lessons, she has grounds to sue. When I first saw that clip, it was bugging me that the song reminded me of something else. And then it came to me. If you've seen the 1990s Irish sitcom Father Ted, there's an episode called A Song for Europe, in which Ted and Dougal record a song called My Lovely Horse. Not the version which was actually recorded by the Divine Comedy. The first draft sounds uncanny. My lovely horse running through the field. Where are you going with your fetlocks blowing in the wind? That's the end of this video, and I guess, if nothing else, we can take solace that we're none of those people. The first woman, she was okay. If you've enjoyed today's video, please do like and subscribe. If you haven't already, click the notification bell, and as ever, thanks for watching. Sexuality, which to me is very normal and very healthy, but what decade is she living in? The idea that men must be placed upon a placed upon a pedestal. That chap is a top dating coach. In fact, I'd be surprised if he's ever had sex and not had to pay for it. Fuck it. I don't believe that chap is... I've fucked it up again. He's so ugly, his hand's suing him for sexual assault. I'm assuming made-up friend because he has the name Loki. And it's got to be a really irresponsible parent who'd do that to a child. Or, oh, fuck that up. Irresponsible parent. That being said, a few years ago, I was in a supermarket and this kid was running around and I heard the parent say, "Severus, stop." I bet he's getting the shit kicked out of him at school now. The woman's friend, who I'm assuming is made up because he's using the name Loki. And if he's at an age where he's drinking, oh, fuck it. But if she's ever had singing or acting lessons, then she's got grounds to sue. Because, why did I say fucking acting? Having to pay for it. First of all, because he's a day walker, by which I mean he's a soulless chin. I bloody love South Park. I finished recording 30 seconds ago, and now the sun's come out.